What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Cowboys News TV, where we bring you the latest updates, news, and in-depth analysis of everything happening with our Dallas Cowboys. I'm Dave, and today, we've got some concerning news following the Cowboys' first preseason game against the Los Angeles Rams. We're diving into the injury situation surrounding tackle Chuma Edoga, who was reportedly seen in a walking boot after the game. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, and your support means everything to us. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on with Chuma Edoga. The Cowboys played their first preseason game this past Sunday, and while the final score wasn't in our favor, the bigger concern coming out of the game is the health of our players. Injuries are always a major worry during the preseason, and unfortunately, we didn't come out of this one unscathed. Chuma Edoga, who was a key piece in our offensive line rotation, left the game in the first quarter with what has been reported as a foot injury, more specifically affecting his toe. The news coming out of the game is that Edoga was seen in a walking boot, which is never a good sign. ESPN's Todd Archer reported that Edoga is scheduled to undergo an MRI to determine the extent of the injury. Archer also noted that there's some concern internally within the Cowboys organization about this injury. Cowboys Nation, what's your level of concern here? Do you think Edoga's injury could shake up the offensive line more than we're expecting? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to vote in our community poll on how the Cowboys should handle this potential setback. We want to hear from you. If you're wondering why this injury is such a big deal, let's break it down. Chuma Edoga is in a crucial spot right now for the Cowboys. He's not just any player on the roster. Edoga could potentially be the starting left tackle for Week 1, depending on how things shake out in training camp. If he doesn't secure the starting role, he's still expected to be the team's primary swing tackle, a role that's absolutely vital for depth on the offensive line. With Edoga sidelined, the Cowboys are looking at rookie Tyler Guyton, who stepped in after Edoga's injury. According to reports, Guyton handled his work at left tackle fairly well during the game, which is encouraging. But it's important to remember that Guyton is still a rookie, and the learning curve in the NFL can be steep, especially when you're thrown into the mix like this. Todd Archer's tweet highlighted the internal concern within the Cowboys camp, and it's easy to see why. Offensive line depth is something you can never have too much of, and losing a player like Edoga, even temporarily, can have ripple effects throughout the entire offense. Just ask Trey Lance, who saw a fair amount of pressure during the game, partly because of the reshuffled line in front of him. Cowboys fans, do you think Tyler Guyton has what it takes to step up if Edoga is out for an extended period? Or do you believe the Cowboys need to look at other options to shore up the offensive line? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get a discussion going. Your insights are always valuable, and we love hearing from our community. As we await the results of Edoga's MRI, the Cowboys coaching staff will have to consider their options moving forward. If Edoga's injury is serious, it could mean more snaps for Tyler Guyton or even a shift in the depth chart as the team looks for the best combination to protect Dak Prescott and open up lanes for our running backs. Speaking of the offensive line, this injury should serve as a reminder of how important depth is, especially in a league as physical as the NFL. The Cowboys have had their fair share of injuries on the offensive line in recent years, and having reliable backups who can step in without missing a beat is critical for sustained success. As we get closer to the regular season, keeping our offensive line healthy and cohesive will be a top priority for the Cowboys. Edoga's situation is a bump in the road, but how the team handles it could be a big factor in setting the tone for the rest of the season. Let's hope the MRI brings back good news, but in the meantime, we'll be keeping a close eye on how this situation develops. Now, let's take a closer look at how this injury could impact the Cowboys' strategy moving forward. The left tackle position is one of the most critical spots on the offensive line, especially when it comes to protecting the quarterback's blind side. With Dak Prescott as the centerpiece of the Cowboys' offense, ensuring that he has a clean pocket is paramount. If Chuma Edoga's injury turns out to be more serious than initially thought, it could force the Cowboys to make some tough decisions. One possibility is that the Cowboys could give Tyler Guyton an extended opportunity to prove himself as a capable starter. Guyton's performance against the Rams showed promise, but the stakes will be much higher as we approach the regular season. Preseason games are a chance for players to showcase their abilities, but when it comes to Week 1 and beyond, the intensity ramps up significantly. Can Guyton rise to the challenge? Only time will tell, but the Cowboys will need to make a decision soon if Edoga is sidelined. Cowboys Nation, what's your take on Tyler Guyton? Do you think he is what it takes to hold down the left tackle position, or should the Cowboys be looking at potential free agents or even trades to bolster the offensive line? Let us know in the comments below. Your opinions help shape the conversation, and we value every one of them. Another option the Cowboys might consider is shifting players around on the offensive line to cover for Edoga's absence. Flexibility is key in the NFL, and having players who can move between positions is a huge asset. We've seen players like Zach Martin and Tyron Smith shift around when needed, and it's possible that the Cowboys could look to do something similar here. However, this comes with its own set of risks. Constantly shuffling the line can disrupt chemistry, and that's the last thing the Cowboys need as they gear up for the season opener. On the other hand, the Cowboys could explore bringing in additional depth through free agency. There are always veteran offensive linemen available who could step in and provide some much-needed experience. This would allow the Cowboys to maintain depth without overworking their younger players. However, finding the right fit can be tricky, especially this close to the start of the season. Let's throw it to you, Cowboys Nation. If the Cowboys were to bring in a veteran lineman, who do you think would be the best fit? Drop some names in the comments, and let's see what you think. As we wait for more information on Edoga's injury, it's clear that the Cowboys have some big decisions to make. This situation is a reminder of just how important depth is on an NFL roster. Injuries are inevitable, but how a team responds to them often determines its success over the course of a long season. Injuries aside, the preseason is also about evaluating the entire roster and figuring out who will make the final cut. The Cowboys have a lot of talent, but they also have some tough decisions to make when it comes to trimming down to the final 53-man roster. Every snap, every rep in practice is being scrutinized, and players like Tyler Guyton will need to take advantage of every opportunity they get. Before we go, let's talk about what's coming up next. The Cowboys have 2 more preseason games before the regular season kicks off, and there will be plenty more to analyze and discuss. We'll be keeping a close eye on how the team handles these final games and what it means for the roster moving forward. We'll also be watching closely to see how the Cowboys address any potential depth issues on the offensive line. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Cowboys News TV so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We've got a lot of great content planned as we head into the season, from player breakdowns to game previews and much more. Hit that notification bell so you're always in the loop, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Thanks for tuning in, Cowboys Nation. We appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more content as we gear up for another exciting season of Cowboys football. Keep the conversation going in the comments, and let's keep that Cowboys spirit alive. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and go Cowboys!